fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning.
The Oler, I think, is a little surprising. Oh my gosh, they are going fast. Okay, the entire teams are basically already picked. Wow, they knew what they wanted. And it's Thoth, Bastet, Tian against Achilles, Eset, Artemis. What do you think of these comps?
Uh, the Achilles back that we saw from game one was a huge asset. I'm noticing not a lot of tankiness from these teams, only one tank. So that's a little different from what we saw uh, last last two games, unless the Bastet and Eset are going more tanky builds. But I think that's more my level of troll than these teams are willing to bust out.
Yeah, I definitely would doubt a tanky Bastet. I don't know though, we see a lot of ESET support in Conquest. I don't think it's totally out of the picture for DarkeFoxWolf to go a kind of hybrid build here. But you know what I do love seeing? The Artemis. Finally, a hunter in one of these comps should be able to eat through that Xingtian's health pool. Not the most mobile Guardian in the game. And a decent amount of, or sorry, a lack of CC immunity though from the red team is going to mean those Whirlwinds of Rage and Steel should find some serious value in these team fights.
I do have to remind you, though, that Xing Tian's his Ferocious Roar, does decrease incoming auto attack damage by 50%. So that could really be countering the Artemis once he gets that leveled up to 5.
Definitely could be. So if I am that Jingtian, probably rushing that ability. I'm really not sure what ability Jingtian mains normally go for, but I guess we will see. And a Thoth and Bastet, I'm not too sure about the Thoth. Obviously, that ultimate is going to be really, really solid when Bastet's able to grab players, draw them in, so that can chunk for huge amounts, like over 1,000 damage, just for one pretty easy skill shot to hit.
Yeah, the Order side team is really interesting. You have the Bastet, which is able to, get in, get out, about half health squishies, maybe full health late game, and the Thoth to kind of poke them away. But the Xingqian kind of strikes me as interesting. I'm not sure how well the his ult functions in this team unless they're just using it as a peel tool. As the Thoth, you're trying to artillery strike from long distance. You don't want the enemy to be close to you. And as a Bastet, you're jumping into them and then jumping out. So I'm interested to see how they'll put this Xing Tian ult to use.
Yeah, maybe they are kind of favoring the long game and the more drawn out team fights that we saw in game number 1. Obviously, there were 2 tanks on each side, so these things really lasted a long time. Maybe Jingtian ult just being used for survivability. But on the other side, the Eset and Artemis, if I'm that Bastet, I'm going to be really worried about jumping in. It is not hard to catch a Spirit Ball or a Boar right in the face. And obviously, if you're stunned, you can't jump back for a few seconds, and with this team comp, they can really burn down Midman if he's not too careful about where and when he engages.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really curious to see how both of these teams will operate.
Yeah, should be interesting. I'd also be interested to see the different playstyles. Normally, we've kind of had one team running it down the whole time. It gets to like 5 minutes, and then somebody's really like blazingly in the lead and kind of just runs the rest of the game. I don't know if that's going to be the case with this one. Both look like they have really small nuances that they can use against the enemy. Kind of get a lead back whenever they need one. I think this one's really going to be pretty back and forth.
Yeah, this will definitely be a skill-focused game, and I'm interested to see which team will be able to execute what their team comp wants to do, as the pile of laundry begin poking out the red buff, but everyone disengages back to the mid lane as Bastet is being poked out. Artemis' arrows falling down onto her. Just a bit of poke damage being exchanged. Bastet just jumping in, jumping out. She is rather low as the Spirit Ball misses just by a hair.
Yeah, definitely a
knockup.
Risky leaping from the Bastet, but glad to see they're not really scared about being low health. And that's a jeweled stud start for the Achilles. That's something we saw when it first came out a little bit. It's got a really good stat stick for the baseline, but something we haven't seen in a while. Do you think that's going to be a good start for him in this one, or maybe should have prioritized a different item?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it'll work out. I know that there's a lot of mana to offer, but you do have a blue buff if your Eset is willing to share it. But yeah.
Speaking as an Eset player, I don't like sharing buffs, so we'll see if DarkFox is going to be nice.
Yes, but Pile of Laundry will secure this red buff, and they've already taken a level lead. I say as everyone else ticks over to level 4 to join them, but it looks like they will be hitting level 5 first, though, so probably due to that red buff secure, so we shall see what happens with that.
Probably, because I think they got a couple of the initial minions, too, before they kind of backed off. I think, going back to the Achilles, do you think late game, are they going to upgrade that? I know recently, solos have been picking up the mana core spikes occasionally. Do you think that's something that might happen in this game, or is it probably just to get a little bit of pressure, which they are getting? Xing Tian dropping low, avoids a Spirit Ball, though.
Yeah, it depends on if they are, if he goes into that, like, super HP build, then almost definitely Manticore Spikes would be a viable option. Notably, though, Tusky dropped with not much follow-up from the Pile of Laundry.
Yeah, Artemis maybe just hoping to get a cheeky kill there, but with that Eset ultimate and Achilles' execute, still looking in a really good spot for these team fights. I don't think they're going to be missing the Caledonian boar too much. And now Bastet has picked up Jewel's stud as well, so almost certainly for a stat stick on that side. Like you said with the Achilles, the really good HP builds, having only one tank, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this Achilles really didn't go hybrid and just went to straight tanky.
Yeah,
Ooh, but no, Eset's building defense.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Eset is normally played in the support if we do see her, but playing her as this more tanky build really limits your damage and limits the healing on your ult, so I'm not entirely fond of it, but that's just my personal opinion, as Midman is absolutely chunked out. DarkFox making me eat my words a bit as she gets the first blood. Impressive little display there.
Yeah, who needs power when you just have really good aim? DarkFox shuts Midman down and went back to base. He's been in base now 2 to 3 times, still doesn't have an item finished off all the way. Elected to go for that Jeweled studs. But now, a slight lead, 500 gold lead. And I think this is where kind of the dilemma of Joust comes in. What do you do with a small lead? If it was you, do you kind of keep trying to pick out the fights, or maybe look for some buff invades when they come back up?
Yeah, I think you just want to position for the buffs. Make sure that you're getting that farm, unless you're extremely confident in your ability to get these picks. You know, starving the enemy of farm is always an effective way of winning the game.
Definitely is, and not much farm to starve of. Achilles.
A little bit of poke coming out from both teams as Xing Tian steps in the Artemis trap. Smite Joust players aren't able to secure the red buff. They started it, but Xing Tian trapped a little bit in the back as he will use his ult to throw the enemy into the tower. But big execute coming out from Achilles, and also DarkFoxWolf picking up another kill.
Yeah, really good job by the Eset, definitely getting herself off to a lead early. 2 level leads everywhere. Oh no, Bastet takes over. Gosh, Caster's curse. But no, really good fight from the Pile of Laundry, making him pay. And that's exactly what you were saying about positioning yourself to kind of starve them of farm, lose out on that wave, and lose out on 2 lives. Pile of Laundry now can be a bit aggressive, and they do have a hunter, so if I'm Smite Joust players, gotta be really, really careful about what you choose to defend, because if you misstep, that Artemis can punish any deficits with players really badly and get those towers taken down in an instant.
Yeah, around 1,500 gold lead established here for the Pile of Laundry. just dividends of them being able to take buffs, get kills. Very efficient of them. 2 levels up across the board. Just showing the dividends of their early pressure. And as you said though, Achilles picking up the Manticore spikes.
Oh yeah, I'm basically a genius that way. But yeah, that'll lead me to believe probably gonna go for a more tanky build. And the hard crowd control, really easy to confirm on Achilles. That stun is incredibly good. But yeah, that'll definitely, maybe a Stone of Gaia or something, really be useful into Junji and Thoth. Oh my gosh, it's deleted.
That man was deleted. He was stepping up to poke, just putting up his clip and firing through it. But that huge spirit ball, I believe it was a spirit ball, just absolutely deleting him. And Xing trying all he can to make progress with that ult, but he just can't get anything done as the deicide for the pile of laundry. And it looks like they will be able to take out this tier 1 tower. Thoth is back up though, so we'll see if he's able to try and get some poke, but it really doesn't look like it.
Wow, and this Eset is doing an incredible job. Thoth stepped up with the ultimate, she stunned him, she silenced him. In that fight earlier, dropped the ultimate to keep Artemis alive. DarkeFoxWolf really making us regret saying Eset might not be the best pick, and again, Bastet in trouble for the second time in about a minute.
Yeah, the Smite Joust players seem to just be getting caught out. They're stepping up a little bit too far and just getting punished by all of the CC from the pile of laundry. We mentioned the Manticore spikes from Achilles. You know, he has a lot of CC. Traps and Tusky from Artemis, Dispel Magic, and Spirit Ball from Eset. They are able to just lock down these squishies as soon as they're out of position and just blow them up immediately. This has been really impressive.
Yeah, definitely a strong start for the pile of laundry. I'm just hovering around mid lane. We have one ult. Here comes Xing.
Final Judgment out from Thoth. Not really doing a whole lot of damage yet. Only has 1 level in it yet, so really needing those levels and items to get the damage up on that ult. Spirit Ball out, making sure Thoth stays in place as Achilles is running down the Bastet. It seems like we just have a little disengaged, just a little bit of poke here and there, trying to posture for kills, but nothing really coming out of it, that fight.
Yeah, just as I was about to say, Smite Joust players taking a little bit better positioning, had ult advantage for that fight, forced out almost immediately. Eset doing a great job zoning, and IJustWantFPS doing an incredible job diving, getting the Bastet out of there. I think on the desk, that's what we worried about, Bastet not being able to get her damage off and engage. Because engaging Achilles wants to fight again, nearly under the enemy P.O.L.
Achilles tries to engage, but the cat just saying no thank you sir. Big double spirit ball coming out from DarkFox. She has been hitting everything. Really good stuff coming out from her on this Eset as Thoth just pokes out from underneath the tower, doing what Thoth does. As the ult from Eset comes out, finishing off the tower is the pile of laundry. Tian throwing Achilles into the Phoenix, but not much coming out of it. Achilles is just too tanky right now. Taking a couple Phoenix shots, just shrugging it off. I'll be alright, as they head to the Bull Demon King.
Yeah, and that's exactly the fight on that tower that pile of laundry needed. Great job by the Eset, dropping the ult, just make sure no one loses too much health. Even though Achilles got plucked, nothing really came of it. Now zoning off again. Tian can't even get to the Demon King.
Was that secure? That was big secure out of the Thoth ult. Tian engaging. They also finished off the Artemis as Eset is being run down. Tian knockup is big. As Tian is actually able to finish the Bastet. Body blocking the Achilles ult is huge as he's just being whittled down. Again, just a little bit too tanky. But if they were to turn around and take the tower, as they are doing now, that is an absolutely free tower.
Yeah, and luckily don't have to worry about the tower hitting him. That Bull Demon Steel is going to give him a bit, but Artemis is already back, and I don't want to fight this fight if I'm then. Caledonian Boar is not up. The other thing I want to point out, Xing Tian's Emperor's Armor. Ooh, it can wait though. Achilles dives in.
Yeah, Achilles just running right in. Tower will fall. Xing Tian looking a little low. But, yeah, not much action there. But,
Yeah, now the P.O.L Laundries may look to want it down mid lane, and I was gonna comment on Xing Tian picking up the Emperor's Armor, but maybe good if the red team decides to go for a Phoenix Siege here. When Xing got it, the tier 1 tower was about to fall. Maybe would have liked to see a Sovereignty or something instead to help the survivability of the Bastet. It's been getting targeted, but now the Phoenix is gonna be chunking away.
yeah, Bastet jumping in and out. Oh my god, she took so much damage. I'm not even really sure as Xing Tian you want to be throwing them into your team like that. But, Artemis is low now. That final judgment from Thoth really paying dividends. Achilles still just running rampant. This man is making sure that his damage dealers are able to get out of there.
Yeah, and P.O.L Laundry are playing this extremely well. They've, I think, really correctly identified that SrgtSpark is the one that is going to end this game. He's the one that's going to do the damage. They're doing a great job keeping him alive. Got really low in that fight, but Eset peeling really well on Achilles, keeping Bastet so far back. Midman, I think I've seen them get one ultimate off this game. Granted, could be missing it in the heat of the team fight. But this Bastet needs to change playstyle. Maybe look to separate this team fight more if they really want to get an impact here. Because with Achilles there, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I know you need your mana, but I'm really curious to see how Midman would be doing without this this earring starter. It only adds 15 MP5, which is really not contributing much outside of just having your abilities up. Doesn't offer any cooldowns or damage, so you know, I'm not entirely sure that that's an item that Bastet wants. But as the Spirit Ball comes out again, forcing out the beads from Thoth, DarkeFoxWolf, pardon me, is just making so much space, forcing back the enemy teams with these long-range Spirit Balls. It's really impressive to see her just keep going. And she's hitting the Thoth, the priority target, every time, it seems like. So she definitely knows what she's doing on this Eset.
Yeah, definitely building the right way too for it with all that defense. Really can't be punished for stepping up and hitting like the cheesy Spirit Ball. And now Bastet coming in through the back. Let's see if Midman can go big this fight. Getting some damage off to Artemis. Ooh, and Thoth needs to get in this one.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That was a beautiful Spirit Ball to prevent the Thoths from stealing again. Nice little combo with the Xing Tian Whirlwind of Rage and Steel and Final Judgment, taking out Artemis, as Achilles, not sure if he wasn't able to hit it or, but he does eventually finish off the Thoth without the execute. Now all that's left is just the Xing Tian, so we'll see. It looks like they're just gonna let him back and head to wave. Maybe they're going to push into the Phoenix, or step over to the Bull Demon King. Nope, red buff instead.
Yeah, and if I'm P.O.L Laundry, I would definitely look to go towards a Bull King after this without that Artemis. Not much hope of getting that Phoenix down, but they definitely have the pressure in this game. Wouldn't be surprised at all if they were gonna try to go for the Bull Demon King and end this one. It'd certainly be a quick one. Now Bastet, leaping in, leaping out, and didn't take much poke, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, with the Thoth just now coming up, P.O.L Laundry, you really have to hope that you're able to just take out this Bull Demon before the enemy secure can reach you. Here he comes, though. Oh, a little bit off the mark, though. Unfortunate. The Smite Joust players will not be able to steal away the Bull Demon King this time. As Xing Tian's low, Thoth is being run down by Achilles, and Bastet off to the side, not really able to be in this team fight. But Tian, despite being low, still finding the huge value, making the most out of his life. Really important. That's what you want to see. Missed Achilles, all unfortunate. You never want to see that. But Bastet's falling low, and now Thoth was standing around trying to get damage, but it looks like he'll fall for this. Maybe not. That long-range dash is just so far.
Achilles got him. Right? Yeah, there it is.
There it is. And now the pile of laundry, pardon me, is able to take this Phoenix. I like Dr. Pepper coming up in right about now. So perhaps they're really struggling to burn through this Phoenix without this Artemis. Just
they need to take out the minions.
Yeah, that would be a real boon to them. Eset ult out. What do you think on that? Was it really necessary?
I don't think so. Probably could have backed up, but now Bastet's in again. And I think Bastet did a great job last fight separating that Artemis and keeping Thoth alive for a while. Bastet could do it again this fight. They're looking in a good place. Beer ball off the mark, and Phoenix finally gonna fall down.
Yeah,
Achilles still pushing forward. This is where I would pull back.
Yes, Achilles was diving a bit too far, chasing that Bastet. As the Chaos side team is retreating now, but they did get what they came for. They got the Phoenix, got out. Bull Demon King has fallen off by this point. A trade out mid-man for SrgtKillerSpark.
That is a great trade for the Smite Joust players.
Exactly, taking away the enemy hunter. We saw what damage they were doing to the Phoenix without their hunter. They really can't push objectives without Artemis up. And even just looking at it, Midman will be up about a whole 5 seconds before SrgtKillerSpark, just due to the level disparity and whatnot. So all in all, a wonderful trade from Midman. He knew exactly what he was doing. He may have died, but he stopped a lot of pressure from the laundry, as Achilles is again just 1v2ing, half-healthing the Thoth before they eventually retreat. This Achilles is making so much space.
Yeah, definitely a problem. Future teams got to take note of that one. Wouldn't let FPS back on that pick. I think, like you said, Midman, we had a lot of questions in the early game lobby about how effective this pick could be. Making us eat our words a little bit here in this late game. That kill line, very deceiving at 1 and 5. Been doing exactly what he needs to in these late game fights. Speaking of fights, P.O.L Laundry again pushing in. I still don't know about this one. I think they need a better opening than just running it down, and the Bull Demon King might do just that. That's going to be their target.
Yeah, that nice little Bull Demon King buff will do wonders. If I'm Thoth, though, you need to be up there just making sure that you're in range for this. As we're seeing it, Achilles is just zoning like an absolute madman. Tian is able to throw off the Eset and Artemis off of the Bull Demon King, but right now, Smite Joust players are just being chased down.
Yeah, that could be a game-losing mistake. P.O.L Laundry is going to back up. Without that Eset ult, probably a wise move. Don't have too much sustain. But yeah, played perfectly by that Achilles, keeping the Thoth and the Bastet off. Thoth ult was off the mark for the steal. But luckily for the Smite Joust players, the Demon King does get reset. They have another chance, but they really got to vary their engage. We saw that Xing Tian move. And kind of use his ult to engage. But like we said, he needs to be using that for P.O.L, making sure that FPS isn't getting too much damage off on his carries.
Yeah, Pile of Laundry going back to the Bull Demon King now. It seems like this will be their easiest avenue to end up taking this game. No ultimate available from I Like Dr. Pepper, so we'll see if he's able to steal this away. He is not, and now he's in a little bit of a bad spot. Xing Tian is very mobile for a Guardian, though. Able to double jump out of the way. as they are falling back to their Phoenix line, which is of course disabled by the Bull Demon King around the waist of the pile of laundry.
Yeah.
Achilles, again, just zoning like a madman, pushing in. Somebody caught in the back. It was mid-man. The Bastet falls almost immediately. SrgtKiller is just chunking at this point in the game. This is what you draft an Artemis for. You get her to the late game, and you, and it looks like a surrender.
Ooh. Not common, but honestly, I think they would have lost that game, and gotta feel bad for the Thoth. That ultimate was an inch away from killing the Artemis. I think if Artemis dies there, Pile of Laundry don't quite have the DPS to really get that Titan down without much contention. But what a great game from Pile of Laundry. And that Achilles in particular, 28,000 damage is what you like to see out of your tank. Great game by the Chaos side team.
Yes, I'm unfamiliar. This is my first time watching IJustWantFPS, but what a showing that this player had. I mean, his 805 slash line really does highlight that, just how much of an impact that he was having, and also without dying. Really well played.
Yeah, definitely not common to see 0 deaths at all in a Joust game. And on top of that, too, Artemis with 27,000 player damage. Kind of went overlooked in a lot of those fights. She was either a little bit in the backline or hitting the tower. Kind of crazy managing to get off that amount of numbers. And the Eset, I don't think any bigger comparisons can be drawn. Absolutely critical to winning that game. Kept that Artemis alive in so many fights. So DarkeFoxWolf really well played on that Eset.
Yes, really hot. Like we said, it just came down to which team was able to execute better, and we saw the spirit balls, we saw the executes, we saw the chaos team really pardon the pun, execute.
No, the pun is good. The pun is good. And yeah, for the order side team, I don't think, all things considered, it was as bad a showing as the stat lines may have made it look like. I think Midman 5 made some excellent plays down the stretch there. Dazzled as well, getting really solid damage off on the Thoth. I think 13,000 may look a little low, but definitely did his jobs in a lot of those fights. Got a couple killing blows with the ultimate too, which is exactly what you want out of your main damage unit. In the end, though, just couldn't really pull it together. So unfortunate for them, but they are going to be dropping out of the tournament.
Yeah, unfortunate because from what we saw, they were playing well. It was just little few things here and there that needed to be touched on. But hey, they're playing together for the first time, so kudos to them.
Yeah, definitely give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I think like you said, showing was a lot better than it made it look like. But that is going to be semifinal number 1 complete.
All
And now
right.
I gotta say, semifinal number 2 is it coming up? It's Quadratic Equation versus the boy band backup singers. Is there anything you're expecting out of that one? Any way you're leaning?
Uh, I personally had the boy band backup singers picked to win the whole tournament, but so we shall see. Their last game was very back and forth though, so I would not be surprised to see if the quadratic formula is able to pick up this game. I'm really excited to watch.
Yeah, Demi Bro had an impressive showing in their win over Doug. But that's not going to be all for us just yet. We are going to take a short break before the second semifinal. And remember, there is still going to be a third place game being held. So you will see the Smite Joust players once again in time for that third place game. So we're going to throw it to a quick break and we'll see you back here for the second semifinal.